Yeah, really, really proud of the guys today. It's not an easy team to play. They're just so disruptive with their zoning and pressing and changing zones and going into man, and just how they distort what they do. It makes it a thinking game, which you don't want it to be that, because you want to be able to just play. And it was a bit of a grindy game in that first half. I thought we defended them really well. I got some really talented players that have done some really good things. And we knew that we had to defend them really well. Then second half, we just made a couple of adjustments at halftime on what we wanted to do, how we wanted to attack them a little bit differently. I thought we had better pace in the second half, and try and, that's the thing with the zone. It just traps you. It tricks you into just kind of walking it up, which I didn't want to do that. I wanted to get out and transition and go get some easy baskets, and that's what gave us that advantage. And then, kind of the thing that's been with this team, it's just different guys every night popping up, doing things and making plays. And, really good win for us. The schedule got all tweaked and changed and so on and so forth. And, we've got that weather coming in here. So, just happy to get it. Just keep playing with better discipline and keep growing, and just trying to keep getting better.
What was part of the message in the locker room at halftime? Because you responded with 50 in the second half, so obviously something.
Just to run harder in transition was one for sure. Get these bigs on the front of the rim, set more drag ball screens in transition. Have our bigs catch the ball below the foul line, then pass and follow into ball screens. And we did a better job of that, just how we wanted to run a couple of our actions and just the screening and timing of that type of stuff. And guys did a great job and went out and executed that.
There were a couple of late game turnovers. Obviously, the game's winding down. In the context of the game, how do you stay aggressive while managing to protect the ball late?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, like where we caught the ball, we caught it deep and got to get into those places that we don't want to catch the ball, so we got to learn from that. Being tough with the ball. When you're in those situations, you got to want the moment. You got to want the ball. You got to want the pressure. You got to make good decisions under pressure. I'm a little disappointed how we finished it off. I just didn't think we were tough enough in that moment. And we've got to be better and keep growing in that area, which we will. We work on it every day, and we're trying to improve, and we're trying to, grow leads and all those different types of things. But when you're, a group of new guys and you're learning game after game after game after game, there's just things that we're just not sharp enough with, and we're going to face teams that are going to come after us with a lot more pressure, and you got to be able to handle it. And where we put guys in positions, and we have a lot of guys that haven't been part of that a lot in college hoops. If you want the truth of it, Ben didn't play a lot last year. He's getting a massive role and playing a lot different this year. We've got guys that have stepped up a number of levels higher than they were last year, and the level of talent that you play against. So we're just all growing in that space.
Ethan, you're one of the key pieces of that second half surge. What really worked for you in getting the team going offensively at the end of the second half?
I would say reading the floor a lot better, and then, in all honesty, just kind of playing a little more carefree and not so tight. I think in that first half, we got disrupted by the zone and everything they were throwing at us. And then when we kind of settled and just started reading how they were playing us and started playing a lot more freely, everything started clicking and falling in place.
What about you guys? Mingo had that period where he had a deep pass from like almost full court. He had the free throws. When he starts to get into a rhythm, what does that do for you guys when he's kind of feeling that confidence and really being able to distribute and score the way he wants?
I would say when he's clicking, everybody kind of falls in place as well. He's one of those silent leaders where he might not say much, but he has to have a productive game because we kind of follow suit. And obviously at the guard spot, like the point guard's kind of the head of the snake. So if he's kind of having a shaky night, then everybody doesn't, or it's gonna follow suit. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think when he plays well, we follow his lead, and it's very important to us.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look, your key players have to play well. That's their job, you know. Like, and your role players have to play their job and play their role and do their job. That's just the way teams are put together, you know. And you know, he's here to do that. Ethan's here to do his job. Spencer's to do his. Anton's to do his. Like, and so on and so forth down the line. You know, it's when you become a team member, you have these thoughts and ideas of what you're going to be part of the team. That a lot of the times changes a lot to what you think it's going to be. Roles can be drastically different, you know, but you have to find that role that helps this team win. And sometimes that role will grow during the season, and sometimes that role will diminish. You know, so I think we're getting into a little bit of a rhythm here on how we're playing and what we're doing with who we're doing it with. You know, but the guys have got to keep working. I'm not going to stop coaching. I'm going to tell you that. I'm going to coach their asses off every day, and demand more. You know, stack days. Like, you know, this is hard work. Like, this is, you know, like you get into the, you know, towards the end of the season, so to speak, and bodies are sore, and they're going to class, and got to do extra shooting and lifting weights, and they're getting treatment, and they got to study and shoot and practice, and it just repeats over and over. That's hard. That's hard to do, you know, and they got to have the toughness mentally, emotionally, physically. I say those three words all the time because this is what you are here to do. This is what you want to do, and it's not going to be easy. Winning's really, really hard. I think losing's easy as hell. Just don't do anything and you'll lose. And if you want to win, you know, you got to put a heck of a lot of work in, and sometimes you fall short, and sometimes you just get across the line. So, but I always say this to the guys: you will be rewarded for your hard work. You know.
We talked after the Tulsa game. We talked about rebounding, and you said it was going to be a point of emphasis. Then you go, you got rebound, ECU by 14 tonight. Out rebounded Tulane by 17. Obviously, the message seemed to resonate with the team, whatever it was. Can you just talk about how you may have got after him a little bit, talking about rebounding? Anything you can follow?
He's on us every single day about rebounding, and it's never gonna. It's a repeated message we hear every day. The importance of, you know, not just how it creates flow of the game. Like, the more we create pressure on the rim, second chance opportunities, that's big for us. That's been very key for our success this year. And then also defensively, like, again, a big rebound, getting a stop, like, we get to run out in transition. We play well in transition, so that's big time for us.
I just think rebounding either shows that you're tough or you're not. I think that's what what hoops is about. You know, I think tough teams win, soft teams don't. And we've kind of talked a lot about collisions in basketball. There's collisions everywhere, right? A guy goes one-on-one, at some point we're going to meet, there's going to be a collision. Either guy's either going to bang you off the spot and finish, or you're going to hit him and stop him in his spot. There's a shot goes up, I'm either going to go hit him to block him out, or he's going to hit me to go get the offensive rebound. And if you're not prepared to get hit, you're not going to be a very good player. And so, yeah, I talk to these guys a lot about that. You know, you got to go. You look like that, you better go dominate physically. You know what I mean? But it's a mentality. Like, it's a mentality. All right, you can't look like that and then play soft.
It's a fact.
It's the way in the weight room. You know, so it's a mentality. I mean, football's obviously the biggest thing, right? I mean, physical teams in football win. Like, they just dominate you at the line. They dominate you with the run. They dominate you with the routes that they run. They dominate you with their ability to push through the offensive line. Like, it's just physicality. It's what it is. So that's how I try and get these guys to play, is play really tough, really physical, and just try and dominate that space.
Coach,
that. I mean, I thought if we screened high in it, we could find those little short pockets. We just had to come off those screens a little tighter. I thought the first half we came off it really wide and let the defense get through it. And then just up the floor, their pressure up the floor, I just thought we were a little soft. I just didn't think we attacked it. I thought they kind of dominated us in that space a little bit. Like, instead of just being aggressive, make a move, go past the man. They're going to run and jump. That's okay. Like, deal with it. I thought we kind of controlled in that space. So again, it's just a mentality and a teaching thing, and we'll learn from it. We'll show a lot of clips of that, and because we're going to see it from every other team. That's what we do. We get up the floor, we pressure too, but we've got to be tighter in that space, and because typically we're a pretty good team at taking care of the ball, and some games we've got a little loose with it, and when you give them extra possessions, it makes it hard to grow leads or win games.
Last one I got for you, Coach. You just kind of give me an overview or kind of assessment of how you felt the defense did tonight. Besides maybe rolling, everyone else seemed to not be as efficient and really struggled to get up and move.
Yeah, I thought we made it difficult for a lot of their guys tonight. We did some really good things at sliding our feet and sitting gaps and following the scout and being really continuous. Our game plan a little bit the last couple of games is like, well, we'll let someone just do what they got to do, and we'll make it difficult for everybody else. I think it's hard to stop everybody. It's impossible to do almost in this day and age. Could we have guarded them a little different and a little better? We didn't want them to bingo ball screens. We didn't want them to outside drive. Did they do that? Yes, a number of times. Those things don't happen, then he doesn't get as much of an advantage. But he's a really good player. He's preseason player of the year. Is he good enough to be player of the year? He's pretty damn good. He defends really well. He's disruptive. He's got active hands. He can shoot the ball. He's tough when he puts it on the floor. He plays with great poise below the free throw line. I think really good guards are – what makes good guards is their ability to make decisions below the free throw line. And he does a great job of that. His ability to score, stop, play off 2 feet, find plays, dump off the bigs, kick it out for threes. He could finish different ways with his slow euros and his little floaters. And he just plays ball. There's no bullshit about him. Doesn't talk shit. He just hoops. And he's got some toughness about him. He's a really good player. He's going to have a huge future moving forward, and it's just awesome to have a player like that in our league, and hopefully he sticks around. Hopefully he doesn't, but he's, we've got great players that do great things too. He's just, another guy on that team. There's a bunch of really good players. This level's good, man. I think we have power forward type athletes in our league with size, and that's why a lot of our guys go up to the next level and are really productive. We've had a number of them here in our program, and they go up to the next level and go play ball. It's awesome to see.
Coach, they came against Temple. Already played them once this year. Battled back in that game, lose by 3. Played 6 games since then. What have you seen from your team? How they've grown since that game?
Well, what I've tried to get them to do is just play with better discipline and make less mistakes. Offensively, we're a pretty good team. Analytically, it says we are, and we do some good stuff. We shoot the ball well. We've got presence around the rim. We've got good point guard play. We run good stuff. It's hard to guard. We get fouled a lot, so that shows me that our stuff is good. It's just defensively, we've got to become a little bit more disruptive. I don't think we turn teams over enough. We've got to be excellent on the boards. And then just defensively, it's, all right, guarding the action is one thing, but it's then the discipline to do the little things like don't get outside driven, don't let them bingo ball screens, don't short closeout, don't just get blown by, fight the post catch, don't get ducked. Just all these little things. Block out, do that type of stuff. And if we can improve in that space, then we'll get better defensively, because we're not good enough defensively right now to really beat the good teams in our league, if you want my honest opinion. That's the challenge to these guys. If they want to be really good, then they're going to have to be better in that area. And we're going to have to keep getting better offensively, because we can, but we have to make better improvements defensively. But to answer your question, I think they're doing that, and that's why we're able to get across the line and what we're doing. But now we're going to go on the road, go to Temple. They're a really good team. They beat us here on our home floor. It's going to be a big game. We're going to come back here a couple of days later and play Rice on Alumni Weekend. So, yeah, every game's big.
Thank you, guys.
All right.